Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, yesterday we did a video about Lucas Paketa and Tielemans head-to-head, and we were trying to pick which is the better player. Statistically, I think Lucas Paketa was by far better than Tielemans. My conclusion was Arsenal should sign both of them. Now, we know the truth is that Arsenal are looking for one central midfielder this summer, and they will not try to sign two. So if we sign Lucas Paketa, then that means we do not sign Tielemans. But if I was to lean on the fence, if I was forced to choose one, I would definitely look at Lucas Paketa as the better player of the two between Tielemans and him. So in this video, I want us to dive into a little bit of analysis on Lucas Paketa. How definitely does he fit into this Arsenal side, and how does he improve us? I think he's one of those players that you cannot fail to find a position for them to play in Arsenal. Highly talented, highly gifted, very, very hardworking. And I'm gonna say this, lads. When I think about our midfield, apart from Thomas Partey, who plays in that defensive midfield and no one can challenge him, I think Lucas Paketa is better than every other player in that midfield. Now, that is quite a strong statement after comparing him to Fabio Vieira and Martin Odegaard. I think there is no better player in terms of an attacking midfielder, in terms of a central midfielder, better than Lucas Paketa at Arsenal. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Do you think it would be a signing that elevates Arsenal from this level to that level? And do you think if Arsenal signed him, then definitely we become challengers with Chelsea on that, on that infinity top three finish? Because that is for me what I'm looking at the moment. Can we challenge Chelsea to that automatic top three finish every season? And I think, in my opinion, I think Lucas Paketa makes us a very, very different side. The Premier League won't be ready for us. Hit the like button for me. Let's get this video to 800 likes. Subscribe to the podcast. We're very close to 53,000 subscribers as well. Now, Lucas Paketa is a Brazilian midfielder. He's a Brazilian talent playing in France with Olympique Lyon. Of course, we know that. He signed from AC Milan 2 seasons ago on a 5-year deal. So his contract runs down in 2025. But I think what is interesting here, and what I want us to do in this video, is look at how he improves Arsenal Football Club. So we know the details. We know the minutiae, we know the cliche on Lucas Paketa, but how exactly would he improve Arsenal, and does he even help us play in that 4-3-3 formation? Does he ensure that we get the tonal dominance that we would get under Tielemans? We're going to find out all that in this video. Now, the first thing you need to know about Lucas Paketa, according to the transfer market website, is he's a very, very flexible player. He's a very, very flexible guy. And you can see there for yourselves on that website, from the transfer on the transfer market website, he has played as a central midfielder, he has played as a left midfielder, he's played as a center forward, he's played as a right midfielder, and he has also played as an attacking midfielder. Now, I think he's the second player I've looked at with this kind of versatility and also success in the different positions that is actually interchanging. So let's look at this. When you look at Simia in these different positions, attacking midfield, that is the first position we need to look at. So in terms of him playing as an attacking midfielder, he's played 86 games, scored 21 goals, and assisted 9 times. That is him playing in that attacking midfield role for Lyon. And I'm gonna say this, guys. Listen, I think Martin Odegaard is a very, very exciting number 10. I think he's a very, very great, exciting, attacking midfielder. It's gonna be one of the best in the world in the next 2 or 3 years. But Lucas Paketa, when you put him in that attacking midfield role, one thing that he gives you that Martin Odegaard doesn't is the goals. Odegaard is going to average for you around 10 goals in 38 appearances. But look at Lucas Paketa. He's played 86 times in that attacking midfield role and scored 21 goals and assisted 9 times. So I think overall I would say Lucas Paketa would be a better player in that attacking midfield role. Central midfield, he's played 57 times there, assisted 6 times and scored 6 goals. Now that means if you play him as if you played him as a central midfielder, you're getting that creativity, you're getting those goals right from your midfield. Something that Pep Guardiola prides in, something like that Jurgen Klopp as well prides in. You want to have your midfielders scoring goals. You want to have your midfielders involved in the goals in the goal scoring process, no matter how far they are positioned from the final third, because many people use that as an excuse that the central midfielders and the defensive midfielders play so far away from the lines of action, and that's why they never get at times they never get to break through the lines, to break the enemy lines, and also score goals. Lucas Paketa is a very, very different kind of player, and if you put him in that position, he's going to be one that gets into the box in the penalty area lots of the time and creates a lot of chances for you. Now, the other positions he's played in, and he's been very, very comfortable. He's played as a center forward, obviously as a false 9, and in the position, 13 appearances, 2 goals and 6 assists. He's played as a right midfield as well, 12 appearances in there, 4 goals and 1 assist there. Left midfield, 9 appearances, no goals and no assists. So the weakness for him is that he doesn't play well. He doesn't actually act well in that left midfield role, despite the fact that he's using that the left foot predominantly. He loves to be playing as a right midfielder, and then he gets that ability to cut inside and become inverted. So when we think about the versatility, when you think about all those positions that he can play in, then we can come to a conclusion that definitely he improves us. One, it gives that extra player in every position. He can play as a central midfielder, yes, but he can be a backup to Odegaard. He acts as a backup to Fabio Vieira, and then you can also play him wide, where when Saka is when you choose to rotate Bukayo Saka or to rotate Gabriel Martinelli. That is one of the things I really, really loved about him. But that's not the only thing I loved about him. Now, the scout report did an analysis about him in the recent Copa America, and one of the things they found about him, one of the key strengths they found about him is very, very dynamic. He can play in small spaces, very tight spaces, and is a very, very creative player who is very, very technically gifted. Now, I think Odegaard does that very, very well in terms of, playing in small spaces and tight spaces. Martin Odegaard is one player that I can guarantee he is absolutely phenomenal when it comes to, those small spaces, utilizing the space, utilizing the space in those tight spaces. Martin Odegaard has been absolutely phenomenal playing alongside Bukayo Saka. I think you've noticed they have those little quick combinations that they've been exchanging between him and Saka, and a lot of the time they've resulted into Saka scoring or assisting, or Martin Odegaard scoring or assisting on a number of occasions. We still remember that I think it was against Everton in the final game, something like that. And we still remember we did have a couple of scenarios last season when Odegaard and Saka combined in those small spaces and quick combinations to get through and break through the enemy lines. Now, the other advantages you have about him, apart from versatility, is also his ability to play and break through the lines as a creative midfielder, creating very, very dangerous situations for the midfield and the opponent as well. But then you're also having one of the players that averaged almost 2.2 passes through passes, not passes, but through passes per 90. That is although you might feel 2.2 is quite less, but think about this. He averaged 2.2 passes per through passes per 90 in the recent edition of the Copa America, and he was only second to Neymar. And we are talking about a Copa America edition where we know when it comes to South America, there's a lot of talent. There is huge talent down there. So Lucas Paketa there, averaging more through passes than anyone apart from Neymar, and also was the third in that competition when it comes to key passes, and he was averaging 1.44 per 90. 1.44 passes, key passes per 90. Key passes are not just any pass, any usual pass. Key passes are those passes affecting the final third, passes that will either lead to a shot or an assist or anything called a shot creating action to be created. So he was averaging 1.44 passes, key passes in Copa America, and he was the third in that competition. So it shows you the level of creativeness and why Arsenal definitely need a player like that. Of course, the advantages would come with the disadvantage of him being too attack minded, and then he would forget the defensive duties of a central midfielder. But that doesn't really seem like the case. Although he was averaging a 0.62 xG per 90, that is in Copa America, he was also one of the players with the highest dwells in the competition, with winning 88.46% of his dwells in that competition. So that is why I like him. That is one of the reasons as to why I feel he would make Arsenal very, very better. Because pressing in that Arsenal side is not going to be key. It is going to be a must. They are two different things. Look, pressing for me is key for every team, because it's a necessity that if you're gonna win the ball, if you're gonna win a game, then you need to regain possession when you lose it. But the difference with teams like Arsenal and Manchester City is we thrive on having the ball all the time. So we cannot allow our opponents to have the ball that much longer. And I think this is where he beats Yuri Tielemans. Tielemans is very, very good in terms of tackling and interceptions. But when it comes to pressing, when it comes to being press resistant and pressing as well, he is absolutely in the air. Like I said, he was winning 88.46 of his dwells. That means he was winning around 8. I think that is 88 out of every 100 dwells. That is not really bad for a central midfielder, of course, given the fact that he's going to have a player sitting in his best, like Thomas Partey, sitting at the best of the midfield, just like Thomas Partey. But then also, one of the things I loved about him and the scout report that I've read is his role in progression and the role he played for Brazil in ball progression. Look at look and listen at this first and foremost. Look at this. That is his heat map when it comes to him being deployed as a central midfielder, and that was his heat map last campaign playing for Lyon. Now, what that shows you is a player that is going to be everywhere on the pitch. Arsenal desperately need someone like that. We need a player who's going to be absolutely everywhere. We have seen Martin Odegaard is very, very good at shrinking himself and just cornering himself down to the right. Of course, Fabio Vieira or anyone, it will depend on who Mikel Arteta decides to play on the left. So we expect Fabio Vieira to either play on the right and Odegaard on the left, and both of them will be cornering themselves to those specific spaces, in those specific specific spaces. So Lucas Paketa, then what he does for you is he guarantees absolute dominance. Then he becomes the player that creates he creates the superiorities and creates the overloads. And I think when we talk about overloads and superiorities, you need to think about that. You really need to think about that if you're going to be watching Arsenal a lot next season. Because, listen, when Saka and Martin Odegaard are playing down on the right, then it means you need a third player to create those passing triangles. When Fabio Vieira and Martinelli are playing on the left, you need a third player to arrive in there and create those passing triangles. That is where Lucas Paketa will be very, very important, and that explains his heat map. But also the fact we've talked about his pressing ability points out the fact that he's always everywhere. Right? Whenever he loses the ball, whenever he regains possession, he's always everywhere, receiving the ball in deeper areas and also progressing it up high up the pitch. So one of the things here, lads, they've talked about is acting as a creative force in ball progression, a target for passes, and also loves receiving the ball in or on his feet and creating spaces for others, and also quick feet and small movements combined with intense and quick combination. So all that, for me, in Lucas Paketa makes me feel if Arsenal brought him in, we do not have a player like that, and Yuri Tielemans is certainly not that. I would prefer, should I say this? I would say this. I would prefer Lucas Paketa over Yuri Tielemans, and I think he massively improves Arsenal.